at an airport, and the guy would come in and try to have sex with him. This was something like that, but different. It's like in plain view, standing there. This guy walks up, starts saying, "Oh, baby," and grabbing my chest, and it was very bizarre. But the point is, they should have arrested the TSA people when they're doing groping. Why were the cops ready to arrest him for groping me, but not the TSA? Again, it's like two different worlds.
It absolutely is, Alex, and there have been examples of screeners who have pawed or assaulted women outside the airport. Now, remember, they've just been doing this for an entire shift. They get outside the airport, and all of a sudden they're arrested for doing what they did inside the airport. So, again, it's exactly the example you just raised. There are two different worlds operating here. And we really can't expect anything else since we've just lost our moral compass with the situational ethics of the 1960s triumphing now, that context is all, and rape in an airport done by a goon wearing a government badge is not rape. But if he gets outside the airport and he's not wearing his government badge, then it all of a sudden becomes rape. There was a guy in Georgia who was a screener who was arrested for this. He was feeling women up the whole shift, and then he gets out into the parking lot, and I can't imagine why, but a passenger actually agreed to accompany him off duty. They got out to the parking lot. He continued molesting her, and she reported him. It's like, you know,
Now, this is a job that only mentally ill people are going to be happy to do. Now, let's talk about the pilots said no, and they had to back off because you trust me with the plane, but now some minimum wage level person is going to grope me. And these are grown men. Troops have gotten very upset by this. I mean, break down what's happening on that front.
Yeah, pilots, this goes back to the point I was making before where TSA is an actual danger to us. It's not that it protects us, it risks our lives, okay? There were pilots last fall. Now, they have since been exempted from groping. But last fall, they were right in the lines with us, and they were being groped. Many of them were so upset. There's one reported incident of a pilot so traumatized by this molestation, he went home. He had to call in sick. He went home and threw up in his driveway. Now, imagine a grown man, and remember, a lot of pilots come out of the Air Force. They're combat veterans. Okay, we're not talking wimps here. We're talking pretty tough.
No, it's their it's their private space. This is like a person who's not a criminal being taken to prison and being groped by the jail guards. It is totally traumatizing to say you have no power, you have no dignity, something your whole life that you wouldn't let somebody do, it's now being done to you. And I believe the guy at the Austin airport, it was a setup, and that if I would have physically attacked him, that they were going to probably try to kill me in the airport.
Oh, I don't doubt that. But
can you imagine how mad they are at me? Now I may not even be able to fly, or I may have to have cameras rolling the whole time for these setups, and if they assault me, I'm going to have to lay down like Gandhi while they attack, because I almost attacked him, and he just, he did it again. He said, "Come on," and I was just like, and I knew it was a setup, and I just controlled myself. But, I mean, I'm sure that was a government setup. I mean, who knows what they're going to do to me now? They know I'm leading the fight nationwide along with Drudge against them.
And we should be on guard against all sorts of things like this. When you can get a pilot so upset that he's throwing up, do you want that guy at the controls of your plane? The pilots union actually issued a directive to its members saying, assess your mental state after you go through the checkpoint. Are you fit to fly a plane? If not, call in sick and we'll get a replacement for you. But just imagine the danger you're in when the guy at the controls is shaking from rage and from the trauma he's just been through of another man groping him, okay? That's just one example of how TSA endangers us. Remember that TSA has actually killed passengers, too. There have been passengers. There was one man named Rigoberto Alpizan.
Well, like they took the woman behind closed doors and killed her, who was having a panic attack. She was going to drug rehab, but she turned out she was a professional. She argued a little. They claimed she choked herself with her own handcuffs.
Yes, actually, TSA was not directly involved in that. That was the airport cops. That should also scare us. Why do airports have their own police forces? But I do hold TSA morally responsible for killing Carol Ann Gottbaum because they have established such a climate of hysteria at airports that things like that happen. A woman is arrested because she's upset at missing her flight. And Miss Gottbaum kept screaming, "I'm not a terrorist. I'm not a terrorist. Why are you doing this to me?" So she was clearly picking up on the fact that...
Well, we had the one guy that had a panic attack because he was scared to fly. They killed him.
Yes, this is Rigoberto Alpizar. He was a short-term missionary flying back to his home in Florida. He and his wife had been on a mission to South America. They got back into Miami and were changing planes for the last leg of their flight to their home in Orlando. He was suffering from bipolarism. He had a panic attack, tried to get off the plane without asking TSA's permission. Okay, I bet you didn't know you have to ask TSA's permission. Nobody did. This man simply got up out of his seat and tried to get off the plane as passengers were filing past. There were 2 air marshals aboard, tragically enough. They followed him out onto the runway and shot him and killed him for no reason except he wanted to get off the flight.
Stay there. Let's talk about more of the deaths on the other side. Then phone calls. Stay with us.
Attention, all active duty members and veterans of the U.S. military. Your proud service to your country entitles you with the right to participate in special VA loan programs with benefits not available to the general public, like the ability to purchase a new home with no down payment or mortgage insurance, or refi with cash out, up to 100% of your present home equity with less strict credit criteria. You are entitled to these benefits. Review them online at varadio.com.
This is Tim Lewis from iFreedom Direct and a veteran of Operation Iraqi Freedom. I want you to know that as a member or veteran of the United States military, you've earned special rights and privileges. On your feet and get the details at varadio.com.
VARadio.com is a website of iFreedom Direct Corporation, a private lender approved by the VA and licensed in most states. In certain states, certain restrictions and limitations apply. For a current list of licenses, disclosures, and all benefits, go to VARadio.com or call 888-900-VA-LOAN. Licensed by the New Hampshire Banking Department. Company NMLS number 3122 and Lewis NMLS number 157603. VARadio.com.
This is Alex Jones with 5 good reasons you should consider buying a solar power generator. Number 1, new climate legislation could easily double or triple your electric bill. Number 2, our new energy czar wants to control how much power your electric company allows you to have. It's true. Total government control of electricity in the name of smart grid technology is coming. Number 3, in some areas of the country, the power grid is dangerously overloaded. And now new socialist legislation is only compounding the problem. Number 4, dangerous weather is always a threat to local grids. Every year, thousands of families lose their power from weather-related outages. Number 5, a solar power generator provides powerful backup insurance and peace of mind. Folks, I really believe in the solar power generators offered by Solutions from Science, one of my oldest sponsors. You can get more information at www.mysolarbackup.com. That's mysolarbackup.com. Remember, the government doesn't own the sun, so go to mysolarbackup.com or call 1-877-327-0365.
Is your church, school, or organization desperately looking for new fundraising ideas? Tired of the same old candles or candy, taking orders, inventory, and low profits? Well, here's great news. 10X Fundraising guarantees 10 times traditional profits with zero hassle. For an amazing free bonus, free shipping, and an extra 10% off, enter GCN when you go to 10xfundraising.com. That's the number 10, the letter X, fundraising.com. Or call 800-480-8797. Visit 10X Fundraising for 10 times the profit today.
Will you survive during the economic collapse or another deadly natural disaster? Your key to survival lies here at hardshoot.com. A former member of U.S. Special Operations knows what you'll need to survive in these hard times. Our online store arms you with extreme survival kits, self-heating food reserves, and more. For a limited time with any purchase, you'll also receive a 3-day survival kit absolutely free. Prepare now. The online store, www.hardshoot.com. www.hardshoot.com.
Here's the deal. Our guest will be with us about 15 minutes into the next hour. Then I'm getting into the economic news, the Los Alamos fire news, danger of that thing blowing up. It's all coming up. Just a lot of key news we haven't gotten to yet. Coming up the third hour today. But I do want to start going to your phone calls for the next couple segments. Ed, Keith, Russell, Alex, and others that are holding. What are your TSA stories? Or what's your overall view on this? 800-259-9231. Syndicated columnist who writes for some of the biggest publications in the nation, Becky Aker is our guest, really focusing in on the TSA. We're going to get into some of the health issues with them not changing gloves and the rest of it coming up in the next hour. It's also trains law-abiding citizens to be taken away to the backroom dungeon. All the TSA thieving of the bags. We're going to discuss it all. But right now, let's go to Ed, Maryland. Ed, you're on the air. Welcome.
Yeah, thanks, Alex. Watch the show every day. My son and I listen to it as often as we can. I tell you, this whole TSA thing has really got me upset. As a matter of fact, I probably won't be flying until they change all this. But I just had a strategy. I don't know, when people go through to be screened, do they have to have a ticket first?
I've wondered about that, too. Yes, you do have to have a ticket because you can't get there. They're going to ask you at the airport for your ID and ticket before you get to the checkpoint. Now, my question is, and I think I know the answer, but I'm not positive. My question is, with your ticket, you decide not to go through the screening or you're so traumatized or for whatever reason, you cut it short and leave, or the TSA throws you out, either one, because it does throw people out occasionally. In that case, you get your money back. I don't know. I don't think you do.
No, and a lot of times you do get your money back because the airlines understand how traumatic it is. But the other thing is they try to then charge you $11,000 if you get in there and you won't go in the microwave scanner. After all, they're killing themselves. Why shouldn't you get a little bit of the same death they're getting? Because it's so they want to grope old ladies and small children so much they're willing to die. So why shouldn't you get groped by it? I mean, they're giving their life up to do this as perverts and pedophiles and power-tripping control freaks. But the fines and all this, it's all about intimidation. Anything else, caller? Because we're taking calls here of folks. Here's the deal. Not flying's a great thing to do because it puts pressure on things, but the industries, the travel, the hotel, they've already complained for years. They're losing tens of billions a year. And I appreciate your call. In fact, let's get a comment from Becky. I've seen numbers as high as $20 billion a year lost in tourism and travel and hotels, and growing because of the TSA.
Yeah, the travel industry is very interesting, Alex. You'll see some reports that are touting how this is the busiest year ever for airlines, and they're filling their planes and this, that, and the other. One of the ways they're able to do that is they juggle the figures just like the government does, okay? They are actually losing money. If we had an honest accounting from either the feds or their corporate buddies, the airlines, you'd see that travel has fallen off significantly. That may be a function of the economy and not just the TSA. I wish it were just because of the TSA. It'd be wonderful to think people cared that much about their freedom and their rights. But at any rate, yeah, the airline industry is suffering. I think
they've cut back flights massively, and then they say, oh, but they're all full.
Yes, they're all full. So they do this a lot. They juggle the figures, as I said. They cook the books. They want to make it look like they're a winner because you don't want to fly with an airline that isn't doing well, right? I mean, that's just kind of human nature. But
the hotels, everybody else knows better. We're going to break back in 1 minute. More of your calls straight ahead. Got some really bad news for folks. AP reporting federal appeals court in Cincinnati upholds President Barack Obama's health care law. Now, there's courts out there ruling there's no more Fourth Amendment in Indiana. I mean, let me tell you, this is a revolution by the criminal political class over America. It's time for 1776.
You are listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today.
When you're out on the road, the last place you want to be is on the road. But if the unfortunate happens, you'll be glad you were wearing diamond gussets.
There's a place down in Tennessee where they make blue diamond gusset jeans. They so pride in every stitch, guarantee you love the way they fit. Put a diamond gusset in the crotch where you need it most. Blue diamond gussets got it. others don't.
We turn jeans inside out. Diamond Gusset Jeans. Made in the USA with unparalleled quality. Our Defender motorcycle jeans combine gusset comfort with Kevlar protection, so you can ride all day with confidence. Order yours at gusset.com. Diamond Gusset Jeans got it. Others don't.
Waging war on corruption. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. Big Brother. Mainstream media